Welcome back. In today's video, we're going to answer a common question. Can we create multiple aspect classes in a Spring Boot application, or are we limited to just one? Let's look at our current project. Right now, we have a logging aspect. But suppose I also want to create a metrics aspect to collect metrics, or a security aspect to perform security checks. Can I create multiple aspect classes and have all of them execute for the same API? The answer is yes. You can create as many aspect classes as your application needs. And if multiple aspects match the same target method, Spring will execute all of them. Let's see how it works in practice. For this demo, I'm going to create another aspect called metrics aspect. Its job is very simple. Before the API executes, it will store the API name in the MDC. Then, once the API execution is complete, it will calculate and log the response time. So, let's start by creating a new annotation called @metrics. We'll use this annotation to identify the methods for which we want to collect metrics. I'll add one attribute called API name. Now, let's create our metrics aspect. To save time, I'm simply going to copy the existing logging aspect and rename it to metrics aspect. The next step is to update the point cut expression. Right now, it's matching the @log execution annotation. Since this is our metrics aspect, we want it to execute only for methods annotated with @metrics. Now, I'll remove everything from the @around method. Alright, the first step is to get the method signature from the preceding join point. Next, let's get the method object. Now, using the method object, let's get the @metrics annotation. Since this annotation is applied to the target method, we can retrieve it directly from the method object. Now we have access to the @metrics annotation. I'll simply take the API name value from the annotation and put it into the MDC. Now we've finished all the work that needs to happen before the target method executes. The next step is to tell Spring, I'm done with the pre-processing. Now go ahead and execute the target method. Finally, let's come to the finally block. This is the perfect place to calculate and log the response time because the finally block is executed whether the API completes successfully or throws an exception. That's it. Our metrics aspect is now ready. You can use the @metrics annotation anywhere you need it. For example, you can place it on a service method like process payment. You can also use it alongside the @log execution annotation. If both annotations are present on the same method, Spring will execute both aspects one after another. For this demo, I'll add the @metrics annotation to the controller API so we can see both aspects working together. Now, let's start the application. Now, let's hit the API. Now, let's look at the console output. First, our metrics aspect is triggered for the controller API. It reads the API name from the @metrics annotation and stores it in the MDC. Next, the controller calls the process payment service method. Since process payment is annotated with @log execution, the logging aspect is triggered. Now, notice the log output. The log generated by the logging aspect also contains the API name that we stored in the MDC. This shows that both aspects are working together, and the contextual information stored by one aspect is available to the other. Now, let's try something different. Instead of putting the @metrics annotation on the controller API, I'll move it to the process payment method. In other words, I'll place it alongside the @log execution annotation on the same method. Now both aspects are targeting the exact same method. So, what do you think will happen? Will both aspects still execute? And if they do, in what order will they run? Let's run the application. Now, let's hit the API again. Now, let's look at the console output. Notice the execution order. The logging aspect is executed first, which means the logging aspect was triggered before the metrics aspect. Only after that does the metrics aspect execute and put the API name into the MDC. Because of this execution order, only the logs generated after the MDC is populated contain the API name. This clearly shows that the execution order of aspects matters. By default, Spring does not guarantee the order in which multiple aspect classes are executed. If your application depends on a specific order, you need to configure it explicitly. Spring provides the @order annotation to control the execution order of multiple aspect classes. Simply add the @order annotation at the class level of your aspect. Then, Spring executes the aspects based on the order value. The rule is simple. A lower order value has higher priority. I'll assign @order 1 to the metrics aspect. This gives it a higher priority than any aspect with a larger order value. As a result, Spring will execute the metrics aspect first. Now, I'll add @order 2 to the logging aspect. Now, let's start the application. Hit the API again. Now, look at the console output. This time, every log contains the API name from the MDC. What does that tell us? It means the metrics aspect was executed first. Why? Because we told Spring to give it a higher priority by assigning @order 1. Remember, a lower order value means higher priority. So, any aspect with an order value greater than 1, such as @order 2, or @order 3, will execute after the metrics aspect. That's how you control the execution order of multiple aspects in Spring. And that's it for this video. Now you know how to create multiple aspect classes and control their execution order using the @order annotation. I hope this clears up how Spring handles multiple aspects in a real-world application. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.